you know, good on the week as we finished out last week pretty strong as well, even though last week started out pretty bad. In any event, OSRH, right around 81 pennies, 83 penny high, technically 82.99. I think that one's still in an uptrend. And last but not least, CDTG. It is putting a bit of a downtrend here, but if this one can work above 5, specifically I want to say 5 1/3, you could see 6 again. But it has a tendency to kind of make a new high and then drop back down pretty quickly. So you got to be alive to that as well, guys. All right, it's time to send you to the big boys, Neil and Sean and, sorry, I'm tired. Neil and Joe. Just before we go, Assassino here, IPST's open. It's holding 21 for now. If this can get back above 23, where we have a lot of resistance, this one could be interesting. So I don't think IPST is done. Let's look for a hold at 20. If 20 holds, fantastic. If it gets above 23, I think that's also a good setup here. See you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's my last day before we go on vacay. It'll be Joey and I. Same bat time, same bat channel. See you guys.
It's going to be Joby after that point.
Joby?
Yes, sir.
Joby's a thing.
It is a thing.
So y'all should buy Joby stock and go to the, no, you shouldn't.
And
no, you shouldn't.
So you're saying we shouldn't YOLO Joby?
Nope, no. Let's not do that one because that's not a very good stock at all. What? You mentioned the name Joby. I'm like, oh, that's a symbol. We had the Adobe, Adara, and Obi was a thing, but that's not that great of a stock either. We got to start coming up with these like combinations that are actually good. Although, you know what? To Adobe's credit, hey, that's off the low.
Yeah.
Do you, Adobe? Yeah, there you go. I had no idea this was getting a nice little bounce. Some of the software names have been coming back. I was actually saying in the chat to Scott on the midday.
What are you saying?
That I should have been short Lucid at 6. But my example, I'm going to get to Tesla in a second and then SpaceX. I should have been. I know I said I was going to short 6 yesterday on Lucid. And when it held VWAP, we were just looking at other things. It is what it is. Like this morning, it was DRAM, and then it was Tesla, and that's where the focus was, and I never got back to it. Tesla's losing it a bit. Like the last time, it was a pretty clean break through VWAP, and then it was a good retrace. But once you flashed that you couldn't hold the 40, that became a target. This might be turning red as well. So that one could be getting ugly. But you know what? What's never ugly, ever ugly, is to see some positive updates from OGen. That's ticker OGEN on the NYSE American. The company's activated its Phase 2A clinical trial in Australia with its first site fully operational, and patient dosing is expected next. And they're developing ONP-002. That's an intranasal treatment targeting concussion and mild traumatic brain injury, an area where there are currently no FDA-approved therapies. Alongside that, Origenics has spent the past year strengthening its balance sheet, raising capital, resolving liabilities, and restoring exchange compliance. The focus now shifts to execution, with clinical progress underway and additional CNS assets under evaluation. I want to shout out to Origenics. Thank you for sponsoring this portion of the show. So while Tesla, I mean, sometimes it's like, okay, you get the break, it's pretty clean. Waiting for SpaceX at the 145 after VWAP this morning. I've had the patience part. I traded in 2 places in SpaceX. Oh, by the way, that data that we're missing yesterday never really came back on some of these.
Oh, really?
It's kind of weird. But it's a little bit better today. So we shorted it at VWAP. Good. Stop. Then we shorted our 145 level twice, and now it's on the way back. So hopefully this time is a charm. But I don't want to give this too far. So I'm sitting this bar right in here, which would be like the quarters on SpaceX. And it's just a matter of, hey, this is the area that I liked. Maybe the 15 is going to look complete. It's still, 15's got the gap in it too. Yeah, so anyways, it doesn't really matter. You get the idea. The 145 was that afternoon bounce spot, and once we rejected there, this is the spot that I'm looking for the short. I don't feel like I want Tesla along again. Looking at it this afternoon, I feel like that one might be done. Potentially thinking we're gonna look weak into the close here. Yeah. So I was hoping we could get some kind of a reload in DRAM. 9% down for DRAM.
Yeah, I know, man.
Across the board, like you've seen some of this, like Micron 8%.
This is what the
SNDK.
This is what this whole space
waxed.
does, man. It's like it's either they're up double digits or they're down double digits almost. Like, it's crazy. And I mean,
truth.
Like if we go and look at some of the volatility on some of these, you see a slight uptick, but it's nothing compared to what those initial sell-offs were. Like, Neil, I believe we've covered SanDisk. Like, we've seen SanDisk get 150% IV, 160% plus. We're now trading at 98%, so it's not as volatile as it was before.
It's crazy.
And you can see that through the average true range as well, which is just like the fluctuation. I remember the fluctuation within some of these names, and I remember coming in some days it's like MRVL up 14%, SanDisk up 12.5%, Micron up 13%, and so on. And I'm like, oh my God, this is a disaster waiting to happen. And then eventually some of these stocks did get cut in half to the tune of 16%. Or sorry, 60%, 50% respectively. So, I mean, what goes up comes down almost just as fast as furious at times. And that's why I'm waiting for AMD to have somewhat of an aggressive pullback where you see like 25.
I think AMD is primed.
You think so?
If you just look at the things that didn't have the aggressive pullback and what happened with AMD, like we were saying it this morning, clean trend break at the 50 period. And then the 50 period SMA on the daily, 50 SMA on the daily is just rejected twice. You're coming back. Obviously, we'll have NVIDIA earnings that we'll see how that goes, whether that affects the space. But it just feels like these guys are the ones that need to dip. And we're talking about names, I guess, in DK, the memory names you mentioned, MRVL, but that goes right to the 50 period as well. Break a trend at the 50, pull back. Once it gets to the 50 period, boom, rejection again. So that's where the trend, that's where things broke down. And that's where things turn around when we get a relief rally. So that just means to me, like technically, it's still working out to the south side. There's some small cappers moving, hey, the market's going lower. I think we can all see that. But there's also this Prof USA? Yeah, I guess it's more like Prof USA. I've been saying it wrong in my mind this whole time. 260%. The halt band is right here, $16.47. You don't care about a daily chart. Here it is. So 1647 on PFSA is going to be the halt band. It's already tagged it a couple of times and pulled back, but this thing is absolutely on a tear. There was, what was the other one that Sharif was trading? You guys will put it in the chat. Was it Cast?
Yeah.
So there was free
so
Cast,
many,
90 million shares in volume, and that one's kind of off the highs. No, there was another one that was blowing up. IPST, that's the one. IPST. That's the one. IPST is coming back in a little bit here after touching $25. So this one, I'm not saying it's done, but that's on the pullback. It looks like there's still going to be some small cappers running pretty profusely. Pretty profusely doesn't make any sense. Running profusely. There you go.
That's fair.
There's too many P's.
Wow, PFSA is really moving here. I mean, like
this thing's
moving like 50 cents. This is crazy. It was just printing 16s, runs up into 1660s. Like, this is crazy. NVDA, good thing we removed that order. But PFSA, look, starting to display an ABCD pattern here, Neil. Let's get our eyes on this bad boy.
Where's the EFG, though?
Pardon me?
Where's the EFG?
Yeah, I know, man. We've got to talk about that. Well, it might be in the past now. Back down to 16s, but if we keep an eye on the tape, who knows? You might get a pop-up into 17, 258% here today on this name. We tried Cast a couple of times today, Neil, and it just didn't work out for us. Slightly too early and not wide enough stop. Too many shares wide enough, because look at this move that we missed out on from $1.15 or $1.20 is where our entry was, all the way up to $2. So that's not a bad move whatsoever. But PFSA tape, pull back, and then we might be able to engage on this trade for a continuation to the long side. But I do believe, considering we haven't broke that 1650 marker right now, that we do see a little bit of a pullback here.
Yeah, I think if you're a small cap trader, this is definitely your days. Arun Warrior. See, now this is one of those. Anyone got the balls to short WETO?
Ooh.
You know what? There's some people like to be like, oh, in trading you need to have balls. I'm like, cap that nonsense. You need to have a plan. Because I don't care. It's like, to me, trading is like poker. You have to have a plan of action, and then you just try to execute your plan. That way, like, show me the person at the table that the second you change the blind or up the blinds, like, their game changes. Like, that's just like, that's like, you're dead if that's you. And I think trading is sort of the same way. With WETO, I just don't see much of an entry plan here. I think really the chance to have shorted this was right in here. It's what Luis says. It's once it loses, like, there's your drop at VWAP. There's a trend break. There's the drop at VWAP. This is where you want to be in. Or if you can get in on somewhere in that candle when it's breaking 40. And then now you're holding, knowing that you were giving it to maybe this top or the volume weighted average price, and you're holding it. Shorting it at the bottom, looking for the gap fill, that's a trickier proposition. So obviously, being short this would have been fantastic on a small capper. You know, we've seen it before. When they give it up, they can really, really give it up. But I don't wonder if you would have missed your shot here on WETO, unfortunately. One name, look, we've seen this story. I know Joe had it this morning. Joe just went up to grab some food, I'm guessing, because he got to eat. When the market, I shouldn't say the market, when the chip game is weak, when the Qs are struggling, when the AI play is downside, then Apple that's your relief. For some reason, Netflix too sometimes, but like Apple, for everything that we sort of said, like AMD wants to give back, the way MRVL is giving back, the way the memory stocks are giving back, it seems like the double bottom on Apple, that 300, is going to end up carrying the day. So it's got the relative strength going for it. Don't know if it's got enough to be able to break out as weak as the market is, but if you're looking for strength, that's definitely it. And yeah, IGV stocks as well there, Tasia, in the chat, you're mentioning that. And then Vina is also saying Uber has been that type of a play as well. I pause with Uber because the thing that got me with Uber today is I got caught really off guard that Uber made this breakaway, because in my head, I was sort of married to the notion, which you shouldn't get to, like you shouldn't get caught up with how you expect stocks to react to news. You should just go with the flow. But when that robotaxi announcement came from Tesla kind of did like a weird reverse. I'm like, okay, well, it went up first, but then it did a full reverse. I'm like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. But Uber's reaction made sense to me. It went straight down, it held down. So my brain, like the last thing in the world I was thinking, oh, the tech stock, AI is down, Uber sometimes has been strong. I wasn't even thinking that. I was thinking, well, Uber should just be continuing short because of that robotaxi story. And then Uber defied your expectations by breaking out long. And the worst part about it is it wasn't just a pre-market high break. It was also like the VWAP hold secondary breakout play. So if you didn't have to see the first look, you just had to see the market looking weak or the chip names looking weak and then get over to Uber and take what you can. Right now, it's not the same level of strength as Apple, so I wouldn't say it's in that category. Now it's starting to respect what I think should have been true, but opinions don't really matter. Tape doesn't lie at the end of the day. Now it's heading to the downside with the rest of the markets. Just, I should be on the other side of 143.50, so let me just replace that. I wanted to be bidding in front of the $0.50. So this play at 45, it's to VWAP. That's how I'm rolling. Like if both these shorts here were into the volume weighted average price before we covered at the volume weighted average price on the early short. So I want to get 143.5, and then we'll look to see if there's a VWAP bounce there on SpaceX. If once it breaks 44, I'll probably trail it to break even. I'm going to leave the stop as is for now, as that one's trying to get back into the downside. I do see Tesla catching a bid. The market's trying to hold these lows. I want to find something that I like to the long side, outside of these small cappers.
I know.
I mean, they're all just still going crazy. By the way, what is it?
Let's see.
IPST is getting close to VWAP. That could be, it bounced VWAP before, so that could be a good spot to look. And if I haven't said it already, because I know Joe, we're going to let Joe eat.
No, don't worry. I'm good, man.
There's a small period in the middle of the day where it's probably more my charts. I don't know if Joe's charts would be that way. Like there'll be a gap in the charts where there was like a data refresh. It's not a halt. Like there was no halt on all these symbols. There's just a little bit of a gap. Mm-hmm. So that's what it is. Like I don't want you guys thinking that this halted down when it got to VWAP, but it is getting back into that volume weighted average price.
So I'm posted up at 15s here on PFSA.
Ooh, nice.
Now TCSH, anytime, man. And thanks for the interest. It means a lot. Now he's just asking me, do you sell options as opposed to buying them? I think there's so many different strategies that you can implement, right? You don't necessarily have to do one or the other. And then also, can you talk about the morning segment you do, please? Absolutely. Oh, wow. See, just like that. We'll get to that momentarily. Neil, I was posted up at 15s, but then it just absolutely flushed 10
Which one?
cents.
Oh, PFSA.
Yeah, PFSA. So I was posted at the lower end of the range, but then the momentum most definitely kicked to the downside. Don't forget, Tastius, I haven't forgot about you. We'll talk about that momentarily, but right now, let's focus what we have on the trade. Up 227%. What we need is another wave of participation. Wow. See, the way this 1 minute candle opened up at the lower end of the range is not a good sign. We don't want to panic just yet. If it holds 1430s, then we might have a good opportunity to find some form of a recovery. But 15 broke through like it was no tomorrow. Holy smokes. Yeah, and continuing to slide a little bit here, Neil. So good thing we didn't go too heavy on this position. I want to see if we can close as a hammer candle right now, and then we have that next wave of participants start to step in. Now, what is the 1 minute time frame telling me? Wow, yeah, the buying pressure not good. Keep your eyes on the time of sales as well, just in case you have additional flushes at the bid and below the bid, right? So that would just really indicate that we are weak. So there's that next wave, but it's nothing crazy aggressive. How many shares do we have today? This is stating 37 million. We might have a little bit more than that, but let's see if we get another wave of participants. That's why I posted up at the lower end of the range, just to try to increase my risk to reward instead of chasing it. Now, as it being a momentum style play, maybe it's best that we wait for the volume and the momentum to pick back up, opposed to just posting up at a key support level, because we can see clearly what just happened is that at times they are not respected at all, and they just flush liquidity grab really quick. These rug pulls in these names are absolutely insane. So yeah, let's see if this one works out for us here, brother.
You know, there was one thing I used to do on penny stocks.
What's that?
But I'm dating my. This is like.
Oh, I thought that was a segue.
No, this is like way back in the day. Okay. Like, because I started in 03, and for the first, I don't know, I'd say like probably from month 3 till about my first year, my primary was trading penny stocks, and that's where I kind of like, I don't know, that's where I got my first checks. That's where I was making money first. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But one of the things, and all stocks were different, but there were some of them where the way it profiled, if you were looking to get the dip, you were actually you wouldn't bid. Even though you get the rebate, you wouldn't bid it. You wait to see it start to run some stops, and then it was at the moment where it's starting to flush out a little bit. Like it was counterintuitive, because like when the liquidity was drying up through like what you thought was the support zone, like it basically had to look like it was failing the support. And that was the moment that some of these is where you wanted to get in.
It would just
But you had to have a trust for and a feel for, okay, well, this symbol, this is a support level. Like the second I see like wipeout bombs, a bunch of people punching into the void, once I see the bid start to build back up in a little bit, boom, you would just punch long.
Just get right in.
But like and then the quote, I've said this quote before, I'm just gonna move in here on SpaceX. Just one little thing before I finish the thought, because I just see the bid coming back in there again. So it doesn't really get down to my 50s. I'm just going to take like 86s there. I just saw the bid coming in at that support again. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, so the quote I would use, and I've lived by this, for some trades, you have to be willing to miss the trade to make the trade.
Yep.
Because what would happen is, if you were long in front of that support, you basically had to be like, okay, you know who's at the wheel. Let's just hope that this isn't the flush zone. You're either going to get stopped out because it's a liquidity vacuum, or you're just sitting there praying into this vacuum you're long in front of, and when they pull the bid on you, and you're just freaking out the whole time. Like you could never be in size in that regard, because you're just freaking out at that level if you're buying in front when it goes, or you're having to punch out. So if you actually wanted to be in the trade, you had to see that void, see it start to build back up, and then get yourself in, knowing, okay, well, I've seen the buyers, I saw where they stepped in, now I know where I can set my stop to get out at the bottom. But if you weren't fast enough, you missed the trade.
Absolutely.
So like for some of those, they'd be like the best trades sometimes, but if you got in, you had a higher winning percentage. So you might miss half of them, but you'd have a higher winning
Did they have rug pull? Like, you know how you see it's just like you go, was the rug pull methodology kind of the same? Or?
Oh, goodness. So like, it was different back in the day, because back in the day, you didn't have as much algorithmic trading making the markets. So what you would see is like the bid would come in because like there'd be human buyers would step in. And that reaction is just a little bit different than the algo market makers. But it, like, so you would see it a little bit more distinctly. So it would be easier to maybe gauge that punch back. I think when you see anyone that's seen enough voids, like you get a sense of what you're looking for in the book to see the bid come back in. But it was a heck of a lot easier when it was humans. We're gonna go to the window, to the wall. Ooh. I don't know what Adair's got going on up there, but it is gonna be always informative and fun.
There goes PFSI.
There it is. See? Yeah.
It's 13F filings. This one was actually voted on by the chat, or rather at least a couple people in the chat who I know voted. I asked, which 13F do you guys want to look at between AMD, NVIDIA and SoftBank. A couple people voted NVIDIA. One person might have just been naming the ticker. But either way, today's segment of To the Window, to the Wall, where we pull up an infographic and we look about it on the wall, is about NVDA. Now, the colors on this visual will definitely look better when you check this out on X at TTV Research. It's very likely getting posted tomorrow morning, though I might wait until the weekend ahead of NVIDIA earnings next week. So wait and see. We'll assume, though, it's going to be posted tomorrow morning. This is a look at NVIDIA's portfolio. Now, you might be saying, Adara, they invested in Lumentum. Where's Lumentum? Where's this name? I look at the official 13F filings. I don't use AI for this. This is the real filing. So whatever's on here is whatever NVIDIA reported holding. With that, Coherent, you've got, what is this here? $3.07 billion position, $4.6 billion here in CoreWeave and Intel, a cool $30 billion. Not super shocking here. We know they had that deal. This tiny little lime green sliver is Nebius, only $333 million. Or so is what they're holding in that. Then you've got $2.21 billion in Nokia. Who's calling their phone? I guess NVIDIA is. Then you've got this big old SpaceX investment. SPCX, $21 billion here. So I guess 21 did something for NVDA here with SPCX. We know AMD and Google also invested in SpaceX during its first quarter post IPO. So I like that look. And then last but not least, to synopsize everything with this visual, Synopsys, $2.15 billion stake at the end of Q2 for Jensen Huang and Co. Now, this is of note because, of course, we know they're reporting earnings next week after the bell on Wednesday. But again, this visual tentatively posted tomorrow morning. You can find it for yourself on X at TTV Research. Now, if you're thinking, Adara, I love looking at 13F filings. Where can I find more of these visuals? I already posted the AMD one earlier today. The SoftBank one should be posted right about now. So it might already be out, or I think it's coming out at 2:22 p.m. So stay tuned on X at TTV Research this afternoon. You've also got a whole bunch of Bill Ackman visuals, actually. Those are posted either last weekend or on Friday. So just go back, scroll up a little bit for those visuals. And then I've also got a Peter Thiel 13F filing visual coming. I'm also considering doing one for Citadel. So if you like 13Fs, X at TTV Research is the place for you. That was today's segment of To the Window, to the Wall. We'll send you back up to the guys.
Thank you, Dara. I'm gonna be real. I was just saying to Joe, I like NVIDIA. I don't know how much I love this whole, one of the new things is we're not only going to design, the companies aren't just designing things and selling and building things and selling or running a service, but what we're also going to be doing is taking our profits and cash and investing in established companies. Like, it is one thing if there is a key startup that you see is, okay, well, we know this space because we're experts in it, and that startup, they're going to be key. So I think this is going to be great for our shareholders to get in early on that. I got no issue with that. But then when you start getting to the other point where, okay, well, now we're investing in a little bit more established at higher valuations and different, more mature points in the growth spectrum, and you have this vast portfolio that's also somewhat propping up the companies that are propping you up. I don't know, man. It's the one thing that I'm not a huge fan of, and I feel like more of that is not going to be better. So we'll see. We'll just see how.
They're invested in pretty much every company that is buying. Well, I shouldn't say that, obviously, aside from the hyperscalers that are buying products off of them. Right? Like, look at MRVL, $2 billion investment. They're involved with CoreWeave as well, too. So it's just like, I understand the cyclical nature, but would you rather, let me ask you this question, would you rather have NVDA receiving stake in some of these companies opposed to what AMD is actually doing and giving stake up to the OpenAIs and Metas? Because that's 20% of.
I wouldn't.
10%.
I wouldn't.
Respectively.
Giving up stake. I'm like, no.
But that's what AMD is doing.
No, but I'm not saying I like what AMD is doing at all. I just the overall new theme and dichotomy that we sort of have here, where it's just kind of getting accepted. It's like, well, you've got boatloads of cash, so why not? And these investments have worked, so why not? Well, the why not is because you just increase. I hate the term house of cards, but it's that's what you're doing effectively. Is you're creating so much more. It's like implied leverage, almost in a certain way. Yeah. Anyways, I don't love what it means overall. But let's get back to the market for a quick little second, because that is what it is. NVIDIA, little bit of a miss volume there. It's been very quiet today, but what has been true is 220.5. For whatever reason, that price. At the open, fine, lots of things are trying to go. But like, look at this failure, the fail break of 220.5, the fail break at 220.5, the resistance at 220.5. So if there's going to be any kind of an afternoon break, I feel like NVIDIA gets over 220.5. I'll be convinced that we're buying and rallying if that can go in the afternoon. For now, it's just SpaceX. For myself, I didn't find anything I liked in DRAM just yet. Tesla, I don't want to. I'm just thinking VWAP for the last of SpaceX here. Tesla looks like it's falling asleep a little bit. James Choice has a Nike squeeze. And I don't, for all of that rant, by the way, I do not think NVIDIA is the next Enron. I think that's...
But Chris Arthur and I were having this conversation.
That's a bit much.
I would say I would rather Jensen and company do what they did on the previous report. Increase the dividend, increase your buyback program, and just put money back in the shareholder, right? Instead of all of this circular investment.
If you're, that's what I'm saying.
That's where I stand.
If you think there's value in the space, you are it. You're trading at a good multiple. Buy your own shares back.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
But that's what I've been pounding the table about this for. Like, listen.
And when you give a chance to sell your stake in some of these things that are in the money and buy back more of your own shares.
Like Jensen talking about. Okay, I think it was shortly after the deal. Anyways, Jensen takes that $2 billion investment into MRVL. Then pounds the table. This could be the next $1 trillion company. Like, get out of it. Avoid all of that noise and just spend that $2 billion, increase your program, and buy back shares. Put power into the shareholders.
Yeah, I'm with that. I'm with that full board. Who said Nike squeezing? Oh, come on. Somebody, what? I mean, it's move. Okay, fine. It's going today. It's breaking the hot. No, it is going. Oh no. What is going on here? Don't say that, YV. Okay, YV, I just saw that. And YV was getting amped up when he talked because it's enjoyable, man. Like, I like talking shop. I like talking markets. It is what it is. It's just fun to do. If Nike falls, don't say this. If Nike falls below 40, I will delete my account. You don't want to go there.
Goes to what?
Nike's at $40.60.
What did they say that? What's the level?
So, YV, I don't want to see you delete your account. We value everybody in our community. We want people contributing. We want people having fun. We want you in the community. Dropping beneath $40, it's literally 60 cents above $40 right now. I mean, like, you're basically asking for your account to be deleted. This stock has been in a precipitous downtrend. I know it's bouncing today, but yuck for Nike. I'm more along the lines of I'd rather be involved in anything off the bottom when it's breaking out off the bottom. I'll take my chances when it's already over the 50 period and see how it makes a level over the 50, then hold, then break it, like get over the 50, hold it, then break that level. Just see it gets over, consolidates, and has never broken the consolidation. That's the pattern I want to see. Get over the 50, put in a consolidation level, then break out that level. You take the breakout. You either put your stop at the low, at the all-time low, or underneath the 50 period itself, or whatever you happen to like. And I like that long as opposed to trying to constantly pick bottoms, because if you're always just trying to get the low, you'll find yourself in a lot of losers before you get a win. Let's go to Adair at the desk.
TTWO to the downside. An account called Dark Web Informer shared an alleged GTA 6 leak. That's right, Grand Theft Auto 6, which Rockstar and traders have been waiting for forever, has now been reportedly leaked. That's graphics and gameplay. So TTWO taking a little bit of a jaunt to the downside here.
Ooh, no, say it ain't so. I always defer to Fabian when it comes to Grand Theft or just gaming in general. But they don't like it. Sell the news.
Yeah, that's a buy.
You think it's a buy?
Because it was leaked. Like, come on, this is gonna be the most sold video.
It's gonna be a huge event
of all time.
So you're buying the dip?
Yeah,
I'm not
getting involved with.
I'm not a
Take-Two.
gamer, so.
But if you're gonna buy the dip, I don't know. I don't know if this is a good comparison, but this is like saying the Gemini whatever version was delayed, right? It's gonna come out. It's just delayed. You know, you're leaking the graphics. There's an arbitrage play to be had here, in my opinion. So
okay.
I think it's a buy. It's not gonna change the sales of the game.
I'd like to think that it wouldn't, because it's been so anticipated. At least that's That's all I hear. Like I said, I'm not a gamer, but all you ever hear is how insanely anticipated, and nothing can stop the fans from. If you love it, you're just gonna be buying.
You're just gonna listen.
Right?
It's gonna. We talk about social media taking over people's lives. I had friends that lived on GTA 5. They're like, this is life.
I think we all do. We all.
It's like, yo, you have the real game outside, but it's gonna be the exact same narrative. Think about how long it's been. I was in my early 20s when GTA 5 came out.
Damn.
Yeah, damn is right.
Damn. It's been a minute, but you know what?
A minute, man.
It won't have to be a minute for you guys to see Sia at the desk because we're going there now.
Let's take a look at what the markets are doing. The SPY is currently down 0.5%. Triple Q is down over 1.5%, and the Dow is down 0.13%. Now, while Joe was talking about the point of social media, I'm just going to recap over what's going on with this Meta trial here. And attorney Paul Schmidt has been making a couple comments and talking to some news resources. Let's take a look at what's been happening. Let me just pull up Meta's chart here for you. There we go. So attorney Paul Schmidt has said that the jury will be seeing documents of teen use of social media, and he said that the documents will be having, quote unquote, some lewd comments, which includes a survey also that shows 41% of teens say Instagram makes them feel better about themselves, and around 40 say that it had no effect, and about 20% say that it makes them feel worse. He's also said that Meta employees are actively working to find ways to make those 20% of children who don't feel better make them feel better. And he has also cited internal communications among Meta employees where they're identifying concerns about users' well-being and working to address them. He has also at the end asked the jury to reserve judgment until the end of the trial, including waiting for witnesses to talk about documents that they were involved in writing. And he said, and I quote, "Keep an open mind. Meta is currently down 4%.
Thanks, Sia. Meta. Wherefore art thou, Meta?
Yeah. It's the stock is in trouble for the next little bit.
Yeah, I just don't see outside of, if they get slapped with, if they can get out of this one with a slap on the wrist, I think it's gonna, moon might be the wrong word, but I think it could. Absolutely. That's crazy. Like Joe saying that he had a buddy that played GTA for 2,000 hours.
Well,
just to go back to that.
In 2,000,
the chat was like 2,000 hours.
I had friends that had like months played on this game. Months. Imagine that. Like, so this put this into perspective. I tell Selena, I'm like, there's like 50-something plus episodes of Love Island. Each is an hour. You've just wasted 2 days of your life watching brain rot reality TV. Drives me nuts.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not.
No comment on that.
I'll never judge anyone's, because I can't. Judging people, someone else's preference on what they like for entertainment.
I understand.
I'm like, whatever, man. Like I read science fiction, and I'm like really into science fiction stuff. People look at me like, what the heck? I can't watch that crap.
No.
And I love it. So everyone do your own thing, man. If you like Love Island, and do your thing. I can't understand the appeal with that.
What's up, Adara?
Adara?
I was gonna say, I almost exclusively watch Law and Order. You gotta do what you gotta do.
You do what you gotta do, man. To each their own. Yeah.
Well, that's a good show. So
to each their own.
That's a good
So I guess we can't be too judgmental on people who have spent days and days on it.
But to the point, then why not? The TTWO is trying to bounce.
To buy that. Oh, there goes PFSA.
You can't trade this. The volume's under 1 million shares on this, by the way.
Yeah, it's really tough.
It's really, really thin. So I'm going to stop looking at it, because if you punch into that thing, the spread's going to crush you. See, they did do that little rug on that PFSA. Sick.
Wow, PFSA, man.
And it's almost like it has to, here, let me just zoom in. Look at that. It's like green, pull back. You can't really get in that green candle, but red. The first green candle, boom. You just be like, that's the turn. Screw it. And you buy that. Maybe that's as simple as it's going to be. Because that's not necessarily my bag. But if you do it, at least you have a set stop. You're buying this candle at 14.5 and you're stopping at 13.80, 70 cents risk. It just pulled down $2. Why couldn't it go up $2? As you try to work yourself around those kind of things. Because the stuff that I like to use in my brain for trades, I like the 145 level because prior support resistance. When I see it fail that, admittedly, I should be shorted here. Boom, there's the head and shoulders, there's the topping tail. That's actually the short. I'm in it a little bit late. But like that kind of a mentality, I don't think you can do those things for these small cappers. You have to have a different sense of what to do. You got the break as well?
Yeah, I got that one. Oh, I got out pretty quick.
Profusa.
Okay, we'll take it for what it is, though. A nice little.
A win's a win. This one. That chicken smells good.
Yeah. You had it.
Yeah, I ate the chicken.
Yeah. I like the dip with it as well too. So it wasn't too bad. And that nice little Greek salad that we got with it. Honestly, the market is the ultimate trash reality show. Says
who said that?
Overthinking bear. I have much respect for that individual. Nah, yeah, it definitely is. It is one of many opinions, that is for sure. But PFSA, guys, up 265%. We get in at that $16 break. 86 is instead we get 54s. I should have took a little bit more off there. I mean, I should have added a little bit more through this level. But as soon as we put in that strength in the volume, I was just going with the flow on this one, following the volume and at that pace, the high of the day breaks. So we'll take that scalp for a W. This was a small W as well, too. We took half off at 50s, and then it just, everybody was like, whoa, well, Adair was doing her window to the wall segment. This pull, it was a flash pull. And those things are so dangerous. It went from $16 all the way down to $14.50 faster than, like in the blink of an eye, which makes it so difficult to manage. But let's see if we take another additional leg higher here in PFSA. Starting to come back in, so a nice momentum play there. On this, there it goes again. Wow,
so
what
great
a
out.
Yeah, 50. Yeah, it's looking like a pretty good out so far, Neil. $16 all the way to $15.50, just like that. Absorbing liquidity, man. These things are fast and furious, that's for sure. And then look at this reversal. Look at this hit that, Neil. Look at this hit the tape. Look at all of this hit the tape. Oh my God. And then it just popped 60 cents again. Holy cow, that stuff is crazy. Guys, that's what I'm looking for, but there's no follow through. And then sure enough, you're not doing too much right now.
I think, so that's sort of the thing. Like when it makes that hard candle, there's people that are like, I'm buying this pullback, but I'm waiting until I see it get to the level. And I'm not showing any size. I'm not sitting on the bid. I'm just punching in when I feel like this is as far as it's gonna go. It hits 15.50. They're not bidding 15.50. They're just waiting for it to get there. All right, you know what? Neil's
you're getting involved with it?
Oh, I just got hit on BMNR. Oh, that's right. Okay, I'll get to BMNR in a quick little second. No, remember, I was just talking about that whole, well, it goes red, red, red. The second there's one green candle, maybe we should be thinking about the reverse. I'm gonna punch out, take the buck change on SpaceX. I'm just seeing what's happening. Like the NASDAQ is trying to break contain to the upside, the S&P as well. Just want to be able to take the win, and BMNR got to VWAP right quick. And I knew the second I got to fill, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I was trying to grab BMNR short here when it did that wick, and I was sitting right at volume weighted average price, didn't get it. So I just got picked up. There's a dip. You can get the same price on a stock, but the way that you get it, like if I had got it here on that first push up, see, it's just heavy action, almost like a parabolic candle into VWAP, where you're looking for the snapback, that's one thing. I'm now getting it, putting in the higher low and snapping in. So I really don't want to give this one a lot of room. BMNR ultimately today for me was, yesterday's high was 19. It topped out in front of 19, short to VWAP. So when I see that kind of pendant supported VWAP, I just want to short the volume weighted average price. But this could be one where the way it came in there. I'll leave my stop here. I think I already had it at 60. Oh yeah, I did have it.
Really good.
I basically have the stop right in here off of that high. So I'm not really giving this one a lot of room, and I think that makes a little bit of sense. And even then, I'm gonna bid out inside of the first 10 pennies, just based on the way that
Holy cow, look at this thing go.
It's still going.
Yeah, holy, now up to 17. It false halted not too long ago. Oh, okay, so I'll do this now.
You know what, the next time it pulls back.
This was a beautiful curl over here, the hold of that high, the previous pivot high, and then off to the races it went. Now up another $1.25, and I think there might be some more continuation. Absolutely, there it is now, $18. Holy schmoly, Casey, are you in this bobbin? What's going on, everyone? Where's Mike P, the rider? Listen, big shoes to fill in regards to Sharif, but hey, we're rocking and rolling on some of these momentum style plays today. Now, Tasties, I don't think I forgot about you because we don't do that around this neck of the woods. Now, in regards to my option segment in the morning, what I identify in the evening time is that after the market closes, I look for outstanding open interest either on the call side or the put side. Why do I do this? Because this can display where there's going to be potential support and resistance zones and where the larger participants are placing their bet. Now, a lot of us confirm, I haven't seen Trapman in the chat, I've seen Ozan, is that when you have these large sizes of open interest on either side of the options chain, you can get the magnet effect into those levels as well too. So say, for example, $250 on NVDA, there's a massive amount of size. What we do is like, okay, we identify this as a potential resistance zone, and if the underlying asset happens throughout the intraday session, climb towards that level, you're going to be looking for a potential resistance and sellers, the hedge funds, to step in and push price lower than $250, giving you a potential trade setup. And I zoom in there. I feel like Fabian's on the keys. Yeah,
Well
there it
done,
is.
Fabian.
Yeah, there we go.
You seem
Fabian.
just shifting it.
I know this guy. He's a man that, on the sticks, that's for sure. So that was that break over here, Fabian up there, and then now went all the way up to $18. But we didn't participate in this curl over. That would have given us a nice, good opportunity with risk to reward. Yeah, it's a big time wow, because as soon as it fails this previous pivot high, you get out of dodge on this one. Headline: U.S. set to downplay hopes for trade deal with Canada Tuesday. Trump and Carney expected to speak again Tuesday. People familiar. All right.
I mean, I'd look for something to pull up on that headline, but nobody cares. You guys probably don't care too much about the TSX, like maybe Magna.
Why? TSX greatest index of all time.
Look, man, I like it. I'm saying.
Did we hit all-time highs today again?
TSX, probably. It's always hitting
Right.
all-time highs. And we got a lot of energy names, a lot of gold miners, right? So
Enbridge is on
those be
there.
going. Enbridge is a good stock, but I know people don't care too much about them, unfortunately.
They should.
That other small capper, there's probably a fishing pun for Cast. Just know that in my brain, I tried to think of one. I didn't come up with one, so you don't get it. It just tried to break $2. I don't know. I don't know. The pun brain's not working here. But this $2 level, it's already failed once. It's now looking like it wants to fail again. Here, Castle, a couple of topping tails through this, but it's putting in some nice higher lows. I don't wonder if this is the next one to go. On the daily, it's a baby. These flies are getting me. I just wanted to pull up the daily chart to get any splits.
Look, there it is, number 10.
No splits. Okay, so this one is all good to go. There's no splits on this. These are all real levels. So it's, in theory, on the daily, it's got room to about 290 if you can get through $2 there with CAST. Let's go up to the desk. See ya with an update.
The SPY is currently down closer to 0.60%. Let's take a look at the sectors real quick and what's changed since earlier in the day. Electric tech, NVIDIA is still down and further 2.2%. Apple is now up 1.7% almost. Broadcom continuing to slide with every other chip name. Most of them, AMD, INTC, Cisco, MU. You have SNDK, STX as well. But GE and RTX are up over 8% on the day. Tech services, you've Google and Microsoft flat, and Meta sliding further into the losses, down close to 4% on the day. Oracle is down 1.7% as well. Palantir, PNW, CRWD unaffected and flat. Netflix is up 3.5%. You have IBM up 2% as well. Finance, BRKB, Visa, MasterCard in the green. And same as before, JPM, BAC flat. But EXP has seemed to have made a bit of a turnaround and is now up 0.60%. GSMS still down on the day. Robinhood still down 3.5%. Retail trade, Amazon is flat. Walmart, Costco is still holding momentum strong, up 8% and over. Home Depot is flat. TJX is also up, but minutely. Producer manufacturing still lagging behind. The entire sector seems to be a bit bearish with a couple names that are flat. Health tech, you have strength, relative strength in Lilly and J&J as well as ABBV. Now, Lilly, J&J up over 3% respectively. Energy minerals also in the green. XOM, CVX, XOM leading the pack up 2.2%. Consumer services, you have BKNG that's up over 2.5% here. And CHTR that's up 5.2%. Consumer durables, you have Tesla that slid down further 1%. And consumer non-durables, you have KOP and PEP in the green. PG is now flat, which was in the green earlier in the day. Utilities, health services, transportation, Uber seems to have reversed some of its gains. Process industries, all of this currently is a mixed bag of stocks. Nothing too crazy going on here. But in utilities, you have NRG that is down over 4.5% and non-energy entirely in the red. Let's go to Adara.
Keep an eye on both Coinbase and Circle here, as well as some other crypto names. There's not really a big move on either of these. They're both hanging out near session lows, but there was just a press release here from the SEC, Security and Exchange Commission. The group is proposing new crypto securities regime, which would allow up to $75 million per year exempt token offerings and safe harbor from that security status. Now, apparently, these new rules are going to create, quote, clear and fit for purpose frameworks for certain investment contracts involving crypto assets. These measures have the goal of addressing barriers to responsible capital formation and innovation within domestic crypto asset markets. So another announcement with crypto that is not the Clarity Act that the market in the crypto space does not seem to care about. Back to you.
PFSA.
Thank you, Dara. But speaking of crypto, we are pretty fortunate. Why? Because usually, I was saying before, don't just put an order on a line in a chart. How you get it matters. So I had left the order in to short BMNR off of VWAP in here, and I didn't get filled. It comes back up after putting in a higher low, effectively tags the volume weighted average price, and it drops from there. So we had the right area, but obviously it's better just from an entry standpoint to have gotten it here. But hey, sometimes you just got to be lucky to be good, and we like the fact that it's holding on. I'm going to look for that, not the low of the day. I really just want to play this back into this 1844, right? Like, it's a good one point range. The market volume isn't through the roof. That was kind of somewhat of a decent story for crypto. But for now, it's holding off VWAP. This at least can't turn into a negative trade. If it busts out VWAP, fair enough. We've got our scalp trade in there. But you know what? It is Tuesday, and on Tuesdays, we are very fortunate and blessed to have our good friend Brian Shannon come on the show. We were just talking a little bit about the volume weighted average price, and it's a great time to bring in Brian. First off, how's it been?
Yeah, we're getting some selling here, which is actually nice to see, I think. A little pullback to refresh this market, and we'll see if it turns into something more serious, like a failed move, fast move lower. But I think the key is the semiconductors, Neil. They're right now testing the anchor from what I call the Leopold liquidation low. That's that green line there. And what you can also see here is from that low to the high we just saw yesterday, we're right now at a 38.2% retracement on the intraday time frame. Well, of course, on the other time frame as well. But we also have the 20-day moving average right here that we're testing on the daily. So this is a good place for the semis to kind of, maybe even just undercut this level tomorrow and then start to build a little bit of a higher low. We've got a rising 20-day moving average. The 50 is going to flatten out in here. So that's kind of what I'm looking for in terms of leadership, excuse me, at least.
So let me ask you this. So look, NVIDIA reports next week, right? So we have to wait a full week for them to report. There's a decent chance that some of that might play out before NVIDIA reports, because we're testing that level here.
I hope so, yeah.
Yeah. So where's your brain at then? Are you in, okay, as long as that works out, you're willing to go long and buy those dips without waiting to see what NVIDIA has in store, and then you just sort of ride it through NVIDIA earnings and it's just purely technical? Or is there any piece of you that's like, hey, let's leave some powder for after?
Totally want to just trade it bits and pieces at a time. And to me, the problem is on the intermediate term time frame is we're below this orange 5-day moving average. Tomorrow, that 5-day moving average will be declining as we average this data out. Even if we rally up, that 5-day moving average will be declining. So if we get a bounce here up towards that 5-day moving average and this prior little band of support right here, and then we get trapped below that 5, I think there's an excellent short, and we probably continue down a little bit lower here. So that trade will set up by itself, and then let's say we get I've got to think about all the different scenarios. Let's say that happens, and then it starts to recover again, and then in 3 or 4 days, that 5-day moving average is flattened out, and then NVIDIA reports, and now we've got a nice higher low over on the daily time frame. We can buy that strength with a stop under here, and it could be back to up and away to all-time highs for the semiconductors. So you've got to balance the views between time frames and then say, well, what do I want to do today? And today, I want to look at the very short-term time frame and say, we're still stuck below the daily volume-weighted average price. So while we're at this important level, I did buy it earlier today just for what actually turned out to be a nice scalp. As it became apparent this was the low, and it didn't become apparent to me, obviously, at that time, but right here, as it started to bounce, That's where I bought it for a day trade. I got out of some on strength here and then out of the rest on weakness over here. But still, that was a nice couple points that I got for the long side. I then shorted it over here, covered a little bit on that, and covered the rest at break even. So for now, I look at it as we're in this important zone that has the potential for a bigger move to emerge from. But so it's playing these different time frames against each other. So right now it's scalp mode. Right. Maybe in a couple days it's swing trade mode, and then perhaps if it sets up properly like this, well then maybe you're going to be able to hold a position for 3-4 weeks.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because I was on DRAM this morning. I was scalping and playing it in both directions, which is not like Sean does that. I'm not usually that way. I'm like, okay, this stock I like longs for this reason, and this one I like shorts for this. But today was a bit different. I was willing to reverse more things than normal. Before I throw you to Joe.
And you know what? That's exactly the way I am, because as a swing trader, I look at it and say, well, there's no swing trade setup. And I'm light in swing trades just overall in my portfolio. So I look at it and say, I'm a trader. I'm sitting here. I should trade. What's the low risk opportunity on the shortest time frame? That's not the time frame I don't think most people should trade on. You guys are excellent at it over there, but most people lose their ability to think rationally and really put it down into if-then scenarios and honor those commitments.
Oh, I like.
Yeah,
I'm going to use that. I'm going to throw you to Joe, but
that was
just know that, Brian, I'm going to start saying things like narrow it down to if-thens and make sure you honor them. And I'm going to pretend that I came up with it. For the record, you already get enough credit, so I want to be able to steal some of that.
You're going to coin that.
No, but I'm letting everybody know that I will steal it, and then when I use it in the future, those that are watching now can know that it was Brian's, and everyone else is going to get to believe I had that good thought.
And if you say it in front of me next week, I'm going to just go.
Oh, this guy.
You're allowed
You have to go with the flow, though, Brian. You have to go with the flow. All right, brother. Last week, you and I, we had the conversation. We're talking about how shallow some of these pullbacks are. I mean, if we go back to previous pivots, you're down 10% here. Oh, and then guess what? From the pivot low, you're up 20%. And it's almost the same narrative in which we're seeing here, down 6%, and then you climb another 10%. Do you think that we're starting to form a little bit of a shelf here and we're too extended without seeing that deeper pullback? I mean to the tune of 15 and close to 20%, where you can classify it as almost bear market territory?
Not yet. I think it's way too early to call for that. If you start building these bearish scenarios in your mind, you're going to fail to see the opportunities in front of you. Let's look at that last rollover. That last rollover, what did we have? I mean, this was the serious pullback we saw this year. And at that point, we had a declining 20 and a declining 50-day moving average. Now we're well above them, and they're both advancing. And we have this prior band of support, which is likely, not guaranteed, but resistance broken, this prior resistance, tends to act as support on pullbacks. So if we're to see a deeper pullback, it would come down again in steps. Maybe it comes down, tests this level, looks like a success, then it rolls over and makes a lower low, then maybe we're going to head down towards the anchor off the year-to-date low down in that 730 level. And this would be the place to start to short for that move.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. And I mean, we're at the tail end of earnings season. We have NVDA that's going to report next week. Now, what we've seen from fundamental standpoints, it's supporting these moves as well too. But for some reason, it's hard for me to grasp the point of AMD going on a 185% run, but then only pulling back to the tune of 28%. If the fundamentals are supporting it, then I guess it's just continue to go with the flow, right?
Well, if we look at AMD and take a look at that one by itself, not looking at the S&P, we have kind of what I just outlined, is that we rallied up with a rising 20 and 50-day moving average. We've turned sideways. We rallied up, we dropped down, we rallied up, and now we're finding with this 20-day moving average below the 50 and the 50 acting as supply the last 2 days, yesterday and Friday. Now it looks like AMD is likely to be headed for about that 440 level at a minimum to test the anchor off of the year-to-date low, which it bounced from previously. So maybe this move is about to head down towards that level, and then we'll see, again, so that's one piece of the puzzle. Then you'd have to start to say, okay, now we're at this level that's likely to become support. We start to cover our shorts, and then if it does this, and finds that the next move to that declining 20-day moving average in this prior support, then maybe we're going to head down towards the year-to-date anchor and the 200-day. But it never goes straight down. And even what I drew over here would probably look more like this, is that we get a pattern of lower highs and lower lows and maybe a little shakeout and, you know, the big messy move that looks so obvious in hindsight.
Absolutely. And final question here, and it's going to go to, I guess, the big brother of AMD. That's NVDA. Now, we're talking about 28 billion share float or something along those lines. How much of a factor does it play in this name specifically, just due from a capital standpoint? Why we're not seeing that crazy appreciation in NVDA like we've seen in AMD?
I don't know. You know, some of these other ones have, you know, I don't think market cap size, I think is what you're referring to, really matters so much when we have so many large institutions that say, hey, I want to put, you know, $250 million to work in the semiconductors today. Well, I can do that very easily in a stock like NVIDIA. And I think these lines are on here from last week when we spoke about it. And we spoke about, you know, it broke this resistance here and it got extended. Now from this low right here, if we're to pull back and test that, well, what do we have? We have that prior resistance. We have that rising 20-day moving average. We have the anchor off of this low. This becomes an important level. So if we pull back in NVIDIA to that level, or if we get shaken down, let's say we recover a couple days, they report earnings and it gaps down, that's a likely area to be defended. So this is, you know, your key level, I think, right now in the intermediate term is that 212, 213 level. So if we're to bleed down to that, it wouldn't be a horrible thing for the stock because there is a likely source of demand there with this prior resistance, the rising 20 above the rising 50, above the rising 200, and that anchor off of this recent low.
Perfect. Fantastic.
Yeah, great stuff there, Brian. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about Meta today because we've talked about stocks that maybe look good and have been performing better, but Meta, it's in the news for the wrong reasons. They're in the crosshairs with the lawsuit, and you know they got multiple governments looking at them across the globe, but especially here in North America. So what's your take? I mean, technically here, because I mean, anybody can see that it seems like it's turned the corner. Is there any support that you see lining up in the coming days that it could bounce off of if this lawsuit were to go their way? Just from a technical standpoint, is there support? Is there nothing that you like on this one for a dip? Because we get a lot of questions about Meta, and everyone looks at that chart and just groans.
Well, and they should groan because we have here this chart. You know, so on the left, I've got that red moving average in there, the blue moving average. The red's the 20, it's declining. The 50 is declining. The 200 is declining. When the 200 is declining, it says the large money is leaving this stock. And it doesn't leave it all at once, which is why we have these different levels of interest. And we anchor off of the important lows. So, you know, once we broke the anchor from that prior low, it had trouble. Now we've just broken the anchor from this low. So at a minimum, I would think this stock is likely to undercut the low from April, the year-to-date low. Maybe it catches a bit in there, but we have to look further to the left. And I don't know if this is here from when we've discussed it previously, but where we've been finding the buyers right now is the anchored VWAP off of this low right here. I've previously drawn this in. And now what we're seeing, and this was kind of the same drawing that I made just on a couple charts ago, is, you know, we came down, we bounced a little bit. Now the next level of interest, Neil, that might come into play is about 475. But the bottom line is, you know, especially when this portion of the chart right now, let's just clean up all this mess for a moment and make a comparison to where we are now below all these moving averages, with all the moving average stacked and declining, doesn't look any different than anywhere in this decline. In order to really rally back up again, it's got to get back and have a trusted move. It's got to get back above those key anchors, moving averages, and see them flatten out. So when you project it out, you know, maybe in a time-wise, let's say we were just to go sideways like this, it's going to, you know, that 42-week moving, so this is the 31, which is 150 days, you know, is going to take that much time to flatten out. The 42-week moving average is going to take that much time. So I look at it and say, this thing's, unless something really major happens and it just, gaps up on news because of a lawsuit, if they don't scare you out, they'll wear you out, and you're 6 to 9 months away from the new uptrend. Ooh. If it's gonna see a new uptrend.
See, that's a good. We've heard you say that one before, but I'll get bored too. If it doesn't scare you out.
Actually, I found out I stole that from Peter Lynch.
Oh. Did you?
Yeah.
I've always thought that was
Peter
yours. Lynch. Okay, well, in my brain,
I knew it wasn't mine, but I never knew who to give it credit to. But someone dug it up for me, and that's a Peter Lynchism.
See, this is the thing. You're too humble. Don't just say it's yours, Brian. Come on, man. You can coin that one yourself. No, but what I appreciate you doing there, and I hope that resonated with everybody, is getting a sense of just how long it could potentially take to flatten out those major moving averages, because that looks like it's into 2027 potentially. Even unless something crazy happens, it could take that kind of time for this to level off, correct?
Yeah, but you could also go back and look at 2018 and say, it didn't last as long in time or depth, but it really didn't have confirmation the buyers were gaining control until we were back above these key moving averages. Right. And the last, the biggest move, of course, happened after the IPO in 2013 when it, held those moving averages for such a long period of time. But this is your big stage 2 uptrend. This is stage 3 distribution, and this just looks like stage 4 decline. It's the way, it's the cyclical rhythm of the market that we're so used to seeing.
There you go. That's what we love. We've given you the names we want to talk about, obviously. But before we trade here, always want to give you a chance. Is there something on your brain? What are you looking at right now? You already mentioned, obviously, the semis. That's what you're trading. Is there another space? Is there another trader idea that you wanted to throw at us?
When I look at my list and I think, this looks good for a swing trade, I really don't see anything low risk. A couple of names on my watch list, I'll give you 2 shorts that might be setting up, are ADNT. You look at this one on the weekly time frame, kind of the same thing, right? We're below all those key moving averages. It went sideways for more than a year. Now we've got all these people trapped from the tariff low, so we're below the anchor off the tariff low. So this might end up doing something like this, but shorts are so difficult. Starbucks is kind of looking interesting to the upside. Let me move all that mess, but it's Starbucks. It's not really a great trading company. So, truthfully, I need to see some of these things set up a little bit better. If you trade energy names, VG might look interesting. These guys came public at 23. Their original, I have it written down. Their original, I guess I don't. I think they were originally supposed to price at 40 to 45. So maybe there's something to that one. And then I think this is what is Town? I think Town is a bank. It is. But, nice looking chart. But, do I want to trade a regional bank? It's broken 3-year level of resistance. And maybe someone, in this audience is interested in it. But it's a nice chart, but I don't think I'll trade it.
Okay, well.
So I'm just not seeing much.
I don't know if you could catch under my breath. I was like, well, that chart does look pretty nice on Town. There's not that many things that looks like a clean breakup, but again, there's volume to consider. You like the space or you don't, liquidity.
Yeah, and it's got an ATR of 1.46% per day. I mean, that's going to bore the hell out of me. I know that. I'll be sitting in it for 3 days. It'll do nothing. I'll say, why am I in this stupid bank stock? I'll sell it, and then it'll go 5% the next day. That's the way they work.
That's the nature. I was going to ask you how you felt about some of the financials, like the bigger banks, that is, the JP Morgans, the Morgan Stanleys, and the Goldman Sachs. How do you feel about those right now, Brian?
Well, I put this one on for subscribers the other day, and I said, listen, I'm not going to buy it, but go ahead and buy it. And this has been a great one, SYF. This one just broke it, and I put it on my X account as well. So we're raising stops up in that. But which one did you say, Joe?
JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, and Goldman Sachs.
I mean, just a beautiful uptrend. Look how it's riding this rising 20-day moving average after the break of that range. Morgan Stanley, that's a little bit more neutral, but maybe it's building for its next move higher. I don't like that it just kind of broke this range and then failed.
Yeah.
So that tells me it's going to need a little bit more time. So this breakout led to, just neutral really more than anything.
Right on.
Oh, I like that one.
Listen, all right, Brian. Now, before we send this off, I was telling a couple of our peers here at work that I have officially registered for my level 1 and level 2 testing CMT between the months of December 1st and 13th. Now, I want to ask you personally, you don't have to say it here, but can I potentially get your email so I can contact you and maybe discuss a little bit of what we got going on? Perfect. That's fantastic. So that's something that I wanted to ask you. So yeah, I'm looking forward.
Congratulations on taking the step. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm really excited about it. That's for sure. So
awesome.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much. I shall be in contact relatively soon.
Not only is Brian knowledgeable, but he's extremely generous with his time and his efforts to try to help people to understand the markets good. And this is not to shoot your horn, it's just to tell the truth, Brian, and we really appreciate you coming on, dropping some knowledge, letting us know your trades, and letting us all learn from your experience. Let everyone know where they can find you, and best of luck in trading, man. I can't thank you enough.
Thank you very much.
Sure. At Alpha Trends on X is the easiest way, I always say, so just go there.
Perfect.
There he is, Brian Shannon. And the other thing we didn't even get to talk about, he's like world traveler up to Alaska. And
we told you the next book is Around the World with Brian Shannon. The Adventures of Brian.
Is that true? Are you doing Around the World with Brian Shannon?
No, it's Adventures with Brian.
Adventures with Brian Shannon. Can we expect that?
I don't think so.
Okay. We'll stick to the trading book.
We'll stick to the trading.
Brian Shannon from Alpha Trends. Brian, it's always a pleasure to have you on. I want to thank you for coming on, and we'll talk to you next week. Best luck going into a video.
Pleasure's mine. Thanks, everybody.
See you.
Bye.
OKLO, a name that I know we like talking about in this show, a little bit of a bounce off the lows here for OKLO. The Wall Street Journal reporting that OKLO has entered into, quote, build mode for a project in Idaho. This project being viewed here as a crucial step towards Meta's first data center power deployment. They're also planning here a 1.2 gigawatt build out in Ohio. So potentially an okay look for OKLO, but right now this move is just okay. Back to you.
Oh, Virginia
nice one.
Trades. Thanks, Casey. I appreciate you.
She's also the pun master, Adara, despite, in addition to that.
It's not even close.
the best, man.
Yeah, it's not even close.
You know, the crazy thing is you're asking him, I'm like, you know he's going to say yes. Like,
yeah, no, well, I mean, I'm putting him on the spot, too, right? He's going to be like, no, sorry. But no, it's not like I'm going to be a nuisance and annoying to him. Just rather ask a couple questions. I'm going to do the same thing with Michael Noss and see what they got going on.
The truth is, almost most people I know, whether they say it or not, that have been successful in trading, investing, whatever, swing trading, doesn't make a difference. Like on some level, whether you want to admit it or not, you've had mentors.
Yeah.
You know, like, and that's certainly going to be true. And Brian's the kind of person who's probably mentored without even knowing it a lot of people.
Yeah.
And, you know, he probably wouldn't say that, but we can say that for him. Oh, there we go. Woodrow Grant. Thank you for the donation.
What's up?
With the page. Where are we at? I'm just going to turn around. Sure, like, I'm blind. We just crossed 3,000. Let's go. We just crossed. Thank you, Woodrow, and thank you to everybody that has been contributing. There it is up on the screen. Fabian on our production team is cutting off 28 inches of his coif on August the 28th on the show. So we're accepting donations. It's all going to Angel Hair for Kids. So we want to thank everyone for contributing. Like, that 5,000 goal, really, we want to see if we can't get 10,000. It's a fantastic cause for Woodrow. Thank you so much for that donation. The link's in the description. It's pinned in the chat. And, you know, we get excited talking about it because there's nothing better that you can do than to give and to pass it forward and to pay it forward to the extent that you can. And obviously, you know, cancer is something that touches everybody. And if you can make it a little bit easier for someone that's going through treatment, then why not? It's a fabulous thing that Fabian is doing. Thank you so much for everybody that is contributing. And we're gonna have a lot of fun doing it, cutting his hair live. Every time I'll make the obligatory joke. It's like, well, we'd all do it, but we can't all do it.
Oh, man.
I would if I could, but I can't, so I won't.
Oh.
But thankfully, Fabian isn't. That's the thing about giving. If you are in a position to give, there is no better feeling in the world than to do so. Trust me when I tell you. It's just, it's the greatest feeling. That being said, I was hoping that OKLO would turn into something. OKLO. I guess I say OKLO, but I suppose it's OKLO.
It's legally OKLO.
OKLO. Yeah, Derek just corrected me. So OKLO. If I say OKLO, then
it's
slap me.
named after a place, I think, in Africa, which is pronounced OKLO.
How do you know that, Adair? Just out of curiosity.
Because I Googled it once back when we were over on that desk. I remember it was during the market recap. They probably reported earnings, and so someone was like, "You're saying it wrong."
Are you surprised? I'm not.
There's a science fiction novel that I've read. It's nobody, whatever. It doesn't, like, just I've read a lot of science fiction, but there's like essentially like one AI that everybody is plugged into. So like if any wall or touch screen, like anywhere in the world, like if you're at a bus stop, you touch the screen and you're talking to that AI. There's like one on Earth and there's like one on the moon. On this show, it's there.
It's
like that's, you know, it's like, you don't, like I don't even think about it anymore. I'll just be saying something and then I'll just find myself asking Adara a question that by all rights, why am I even asking her this question? Why would I expect her to know? And then she knows it anyway. So it's probably bad for like me, because I'm not, now I'm just relying on it too much. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. A couple of things.
Can I cover PFS?
Oh
yeah. Remember, dude. We're this guy and we're literally talking to Brian Shannon, and I'm over here like, all right, let's see what we could get going on. I see it go for this high of the day break. The exact same trade as this one, Neil, but on a different level. So like, I'm talking to Brian Shannon. Meanwhile, I'm managing this trade and getting involved with it. This is the middle of our conversation. So maybe I will pass the CMT test after all. No, I'm being sarcastic, but $18 all the way up to $19.20, just like that, and now we're continuing to move. So we were rocking and rolling on that one. So yeah, it was a lot of fun because I looked at Neil as we're having the conversation, and he's like, "What?" And then sure enough, we got a nice little pop up there. So that was a lot of fun for sure.
How are these things still? It's crazy to me, like how much these, like they just won't give up, even when it feels like they're rugging you. They still manage to go, "Oh, I need to move my trail." Whoops, no way. Okay. Anyways. I just moved my stop on BM&R and it was down. We were just down at 40. I put the trail in and it just snapped up and trailed me out. So anyways, we're out of this trade. But it went down to our support level. Didn't want to get out while it was consolidating because I wanted to maybe give it to the 50. But when it broke down, like, let's not let it get back into the volume weighted average price. So for me, you know, we got VWAP, we got to the target. I tried to give it a chance to break the opening range low because then we could really see it fill in the gap this afternoon. The market might not be moving enough for that. So if it gets to VWAP, I might look at BM&R again. I probably got out of SpaceX early. You just take the wins where you can, but this one did continue into VWAP. We're in a power hour. I'd like to see it try to bounce off VWAP and wonder if there isn't something back in the, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Back in the 44, the 45 range. Otherwise, it could be a continuation under VWAP for SpaceX. So those two are on the brain. I can't keep my eyes off this PFSA either. Like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, the last two pullbacks, this is why it's in my brain now. There's the break, red candle, 3 minute, all red candles, first green candle long. All red candles. The first green candle's the chase. Oh, it's still a long on the second. So if it does, there's enough time for it to do one sustained pullback again, because these pullbacks are like 20 minutes long. Like there's a good 6 or 7 red candles on a 3 minute, and then it goes again. So there'd be time for one more of those, and that's probably it. It's at the halt band now. 2153 is the halt. It just fake halted. Now the halt band's reset. I can't even see it anymore. It's at 93. So now 2193 is a new halt band to the upside. PFSA is absolutely flying. It's
crazy.
It is unbelievable. What else going on in the market? I saw someone type in Alphabet. No, that's not really moving, unfortunately. So it's just this PFSA that's going ham.
Yeah.
We'll see about SpaceX. I'm not married to the notion of it failing VWAP and going lower for a short. If it bounces, that would be a trend break. But I've been looking for short entries all day until we finally got one. So I'll look for a pullback or a bounce into 44, like this little support, and play it off that. Trump considering granting Canada tariff for free.
Oh.
Hey, I'll take it.
We'll take anything. We'll take anything we can hit that one. Did you see?
We need it.
Did you see Klarna today? I know I personally took my eyes off it after that first 2 hours of chop. Now down to $15.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
So this was me all morning long on Klarna. And like, okay, well, nobody cares about Klarna, but like, let's just short it off VWAP. And as long as once it failed this high, I'm like, okay, the short is on right at the volume weighted average price. Then it broke VWAP, and I kind of gave up on it to go trade Tesla, which was a good decision. Tesla's my best stock today, but there's always a but. Look what happens when it lost VWAP here on this heavy candle.
Yeah.
Boom. Then the short was just on. You got your move all the way to the low of the day, that's what I was holding for in the pre-market. So was Klarna Was it a positive stock? Yes. Would I grade it positively for myself? No. You can't. Because to not have gotten back into this, I don't care. If I'm looking short, and my concept was if it doesn't break this, I'm looking for the VWAP shorts and every short that I can get that sets up, and I don't have anything to the low, then it doesn't matter how you performed on it. It's a fail because it was a good setup. It stayed a good setup. And I moved on to something else, and that something else now is nothing. I just like Tesla off VWAP. There was that trend break.
Okay.
I'm going to get rid of these.
Wow.
If I draw too many trend lines, I love trend lines, but when I draw too many of them, my charts start they start objecting to it. You've got to be kidding me.
Look at this $22 incoming here on PFSA.
What is,
Dude, what a play.
What is this stock?
Holy cow. How is it not halting?
What is this stock?
Yeah, I know. This is crazy. Let's actually
What do they
pull
even do?
Let's pull it up here.
Does it
We're gonna
even
figure
matter?
it out right now. PFSA. See what we got. Profusa Inc. I mean, is a commercial stage digital health company. The company is engaged in development of a new generation of bio-integrated sensors that potentially empower the individual with the ability to monitor their body chemistry. The company's technology enables the development of the bioengineered sensors that are designed to become one with the body to detect. What? Did you hear this?
What is this? First of all, that's just gobbledygook.
What? There's no way, man. That's crazy. Company profile.
Here's what you need to know. And thank you for
has a
JL.
million share.
Thank you, JL8.
1.2 million share float.
They split. They had a split just
Reverse.
Why isn't it telling me? A reverse split here. It doesn't tell me. Someone said in the chat it's 5-1, but I can't see it. That 1 to 25 here, and they had another one back in February. So they've had three reverse splits this year. What happened? Who's talking to the? Why are you even allowed to reverse split 3 times in 1 year? First of all,
What's that other name?
what's even going on? Like, why are you allowed to reverse split 3 times in 1 year? Like, there should be like limits and rules to that.
I think we got Luis.
But you know
on
what?
tomorrow.
Congratulations for everybody that if you happen to be long this, don't get caught holding the bag. We always say every single time, try not to get caught holding the bag. Chasing this is nonsensical. I mean, you can, like, I think scalping like you're doing, Joe, makes sense. Because if you're scalping in and out on those breaks, then you're in, you're out. You're not really going to get left holding the bag at the top. Red painted table said check the all-time high. I didn't do that. I guess let me just go to a monthly. It's easier to pick it up on if I go to a monthly.
Here comes the boom, says Bob. Yeah, I mean, you're at 23
I don't know
bucks
what
now.
to say about that.
This is
all
crazy. Just donated towards the Choppy Chop. Appreciate you guys for the awesome info and great show today. Everyone says Greg Trail. I mean, listen, we've all done that before. So go, I don't know where you're located geographically, but go enjoy outside. Enjoy your day because we've all been, okay. I was thinking about the chop.
There it is, the choppy chop.
The chop of the hair. See what you got going on. Thank you for your donation, Greg. Much appreciated there.
Danita as well, another 50.
Danita,
goodness.
$50. Whoa!
Thank
we're
you.
We're gonna be
Everyone
hitting
is
that
too
level
kind.
in no time.
what I'm
Fabian,
saying.
if we hit 5K before or whatever it may be, if we hit that target before August 28th, you have to chop it as soon as that target is hit.
No, then we're going for 10K. It's happening on the 28th.
Oh, you're just gonna keep raising the bar?
Well, also the 28th, it's
All
a
right.
Friday. You know, we have fun on Fridays on the show. The market, usually the market's a little bit slower on Friday. It's literally the last Friday in August, which is typically like it's a summer month, right? So we're gonna have fun on that afternoon show. Fabian, we'll do it live. But that 5,000, it's just a number, man. Like the more you raise for a good cause, the better. And so we appreciate everyone giving what they can, right? And maybe people are giving these PFSA gains. It's like one long in that apparently, which I'm sitting here saying, why would you even crazy chase that? The stock is nuts. And the reason why, I know people are like, well, what's happening in the market? This is the cues right now. Look at this nothing. It's not moving. The market is not moving right now. So you've got PFSA, there was some scalps and some crypto stocks, and SpaceX is moving around a bit. I'm waiting for it to start doing something again. But Matthias here, and thank you for the super chat. What is your opinion on CRDO? Oh, you Credo, huh? Okay. Notice how I did the exhale? So Brian was actually, there's something good about this that I know Brian would say, right? And I've said it a million times, and this is gonna get caught because you'll always hear me say it's easier to buy dips in strong stocks and uptrends than it is anything else. So that being said, I'm not completely in love with this retest of the 50. I just feel it's been a little bit extreme today. It's one thing when you drift back and get a really prolonged pullback, go right into the 200, upward sloping 200. Like since it broke the 200 here on volume in April, dip, hold, dip, hold. Like there's all kinds of reasons to like that. And again, I don't own Credo, so I'm not telling you, I'm not talking my own book or anything like that. We're just talking about the charts here. When it comes back into the 50, it's not so automatic for me because we kind of double tagged. We didn't revisit the high. Like I'd feel better about the 50 period if we'd gotten to or broken the high and then pulled back into the 50. But it resisted a lower high here, unfortunately. So now I'm sort of thinking, okay, well, prove to me that you're actually holding this level for a couple of days and then go, or still think about that 200 period moving average. Like that's sort of where my brain is going to be. For them. And the other thing you want to wait for is you got a couple weeks till they report. So that allows you to maybe wait until the backside of the report as well. So I just feel like that's the easier way to play. But I know I say it all the time. It's like, hey, you're always better off buying dips and moving averages on upward trending stocks. I just don't know that the 50 is what I like here with Credo for sure. Tesla's catching a bid. No, it's not. You made me look. Icon in the chat. See, I saw Neil and Tesla, and then a bunch of. Oh, I saw Tesla. I'm just showing you guys. I looked up, and this is what I saw. I see Tesla. I'm like, oh, but then people saying 1 year chart double bottom test. So I wasn't sure if you're talking about the trade here. No volume. I'd love for Tesla to be another long through VWAP again this afternoon, but it's 320, and it doesn't seem like it wants to go. But if we zoom out, my thought was more 280 here. Like I was really expecting this last drop to play into the 280. One of the things you just heard Brian saying, you've heard us reiterate, you're now downward sloping on the 200 period moving average. You're under both the major moving averages. So like you're out of favor at this point. So I tend to think if we're going into a support level, it's the bigger one at 220, which I like, and the 280 level as well. There's nothing that's really changed my mind yet about that, especially because this bounce hasn't followed through yet. And if this bounce hasn't followed through, I think you're looking maybe a little bit lower for sure. Or your PFSA is on one of its pullbacks here, Joe. The last time it did this pattern, you got about 15 to 20 minutes worth of dip, and you did it twice, and then it went. So let's see if it can put in another one of those patterns, and maybe there's like one last push, or it's just going to start going now. Yeah. Not even give me more.
Look at the tape on it, Neil. It's so strong. Holy, oh my God! This guy's watching. Oh wow! Oh, this is Squeeze City now. It's going to halt here at 24.88. Yeah, this has to halt. Thank you for your donation, Corey Burke. Man, thank you all so much, man. Fabian, what a great cause you got going on here. I mean, people are really, really loving that. Now we're up to, we have to be up more than $3,024 now. Oh, it's crazy. But donate.
You got to keep refreshing.
Yeah, I got to keep refreshing that. What are we at here now?
32.6.
Yeah, 32.6. There we go. We're halted. No way, Neil. I know this isn't true.
No.
You see the tap on
60.
That? Dude, 54. It was up to 90. The tap was $90. $90 tap on PFSA. Now, I won't be surprised if that comes in, but I seen a 90 print on PFSA. This has been my best trader of the day. I've been fortunate enough to go for 3 for 3 on this bad boy. Boom, boom, boom. All high of the day breaks. Very identical price action plays, and they've worked out for us. Now, this tap is $45. Where's Adam James? He's not in the chat, but Casey's in the chat. Casey, are you still in this trade? Like, have you been scalping? I think I've seen the ins. You were in and out from time to time. So yeah, what a crazy halt. 38.50. Yeah, we called it. That's for sure. It was just moving too fast, too furious. You go from $22 all the way up to $24 on 1.2 million share float. How many rotations have we done today? Man, that's crazy, like 40 times. Heck yes. What's your average price? Bubbin, what's your average price as well, too? I'm not doing any justice for this name. I need to hear what you guys got going on. So congratulations to everyone. Listen, these are the ones where you could just make your month or whatever it may be. So massive runner, especially if you've had the ability to hold to those lows, $14 to $24. I mean, and then some, Neil, at this point. Where did it open up? $8 and now you're at $24? Like, what is even going on here today? Some crazy, crazy stuff. Break of $20. What does that mean? You're in it. Is that when you're in it? Okay, you're in at the break of $20. Okay, nice play up here. Okay, so we got 24. The top is starting to come back in. Now heading to the south side, ladies and gentlemen. $24 tap. We're halted at $24.88.
It's crazy. And shout out to Adams, got it as well from earlier on. This was sometimes these ones, it's like, oh well, your best chance is to get in super early. That's not even true. There was a point when this just looks like a regular VWAP breakout, like right in here, right before we go on the air. That's because I think a lot of the problems, once you see it going parabolic, most people don't have a trade plan for that. But it's like, where could you have an entry that fits your style of trade? That fits a lot of people's style of trade right in here. When it's taking out this local top at about 1280, maybe you're in at 13, you're long in front of the volume weighted average price. If it gets to the high of the day, it's 4-1 at that point. Risk to award to get to the high of the day. So once it's done that, you can just be holding for the dream like crazy. So we're well into power hour now. So I'm going to throw up the early looks because there's at least something here. CRM is an early sell of 1.8 million. Verizon's there for 1.2 million to the sell side. You got the SOXL, which is, I don't know, 760 to the buy side there. But for the most part, it's CRM that stands out. At the end of the day, it's been a really good day for the software names, like chips down, Apple up, software up. At one point, Uber was up. I'm rolling my eyes because not anymore. It's so positive. It's given up the move. But Salesforce, to be at the highs and having a strong day with a 2 million sell imbalance, you need to keep in mind, Salesforce has done 6 million shares on the whole day. So 1.8 million to sell when you're coming off the highs is a pretty decent size. And it's got a bit of a reversal top going on. So the closer we get to 350, I'm just going to look at the higher time frame. That looks good too. It just tagged the 200 period and pulled back, and looks like it's rejecting there under 20. Yeah, the closer we get to 350, ideally it'd be trying to short this into 350 with a stop at 98.5. It's a little early now. We still have 20 minutes to go to the imbalances. For sure. Yeah. So let us know what else you guys are watching. PFSA is now tapping down.
Yeah, that's not too good of a look.
No.
Especially you've been
that's what you don't want to see.
Especially after this run here.
Because then people might try. If you're long at the top, it's going to open up.
I was thinking about trying to get caught in the halt up, but remember
this time of day.
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, because think about it, it'd be down almost $1 at this point. Remember, it was you and I believe. With CBRS.
Oh.
Was it you and I? And we're like, okay, so I watched this halt band. It would have been, to this day, it would have been the best trade personally. And I'm like, all right, halt up. Considering we're in an IPO, I'm like, let's sit through this halt. Boom, taps up, and then immediately just taps right down. And I'm like, oh no. And then it opens up a couple of dollars lower. And I'm like, man, oh, there it goes.
It's open.
And now it's open. Now 25s. 29's screen the other, and it's going to halt right back up once again. Holy cow. So you have to sit through like $2.50 of volatility just to get involved. It's too quick. That is absolutely insane here. Oh, I thought it false halted. No, gray out there. So 25.94. So you do wait for that pullback, right? Before you just get involved right away in PFSA.
Yeah, thank you guys. It's fantastic for PFSA. Good luck to anyone that's still trading. Just remember how the rules work. If it is halted when it gets to the final 10 minutes, it's not 5 or 10 minutes. It'll open at 4 o'clock. We're going to the desk. See ya. What do you got?
See ya, indeed. Let's take a look at the dollar here. The DXY currently still hanging around the 99.6 region, still flat on the day. I want to also take a look at the pair USD INR here that did close relatively weaker as of today. Rupee closed around the 95.6 region. It is also currently flat. So likely intervention by the RBI to take place, which is now standing in between India and the pressure from elevated oil prices as well, and surging global bond yields that we're seeing here. So, like I said, USD INR not up significantly. There it's 0.08, but technically flat on the day. Also, do want to take a look at the USD JPY pair and what's going on here. USD JPY is up 0.15% on the day, trading around $159.6 region. Nothing new here, nothing crazy.
Thank you there, Sia. So I was actually, someone in the chat had put in WBD, and I'll kick myself for not sitting in it like yesterday, because multiple days in a row, it's just been giving you a free percent. It finds consolidation, then goes. My chart, for whatever reason, it'll show you the break here, and then we're just missing some data from earlier today, but like it'll find a support level and then just break up almost a percentage point. And today it did the move again. They've got all the regulatory approvals. It's just these lawsuits that are going on for you to be able to get through that. Then it gets $31.
Wow.
But sun tan,
I like that
let's go. That's all I gotta say. I almost said something else. 138. We're continuing to get donations. I'm just going to keep refreshing. That'll take us over 3,400.
Yeah, it should be over 3,400.
It should be. Why is it not refreshing? Oh, no. What's going on with the website?
It's a monster.
Okay, well, maybe that one was already in there. Well, we're at 32. We're now 65% of the way, two-thirds of the way.
Holy cow.
We're two-thirds of the way. We had just crossed the halfway mark, and now we're two-thirds of the way. Thank you so much, Suntan. We appreciate it.
Suntan City.
It's one of those, I say it all the time, and I know it gets a bit old, but we really do have the best community out there. I mean, absolutely bar none. Absolutely bar none. Thank you so much, Suntan. Thank you to everybody that's contributing. I don't care what you're contributing, but if you're here, we appreciate you. And trust me, it's all going to a very good cause, and we couldn't be more thrilled that Fabio is doing it. You guys can see we've got the one and only with Adara, but just a quick update on the tap of PFSA, which we'll keep putting in the chat. It's again indicating a down open at 25 even. So it might open back up while we're at the desk with the one and only.
Indeed, and right now we're here to talk about the Asian markets, because this U.S. market might almost be close to the day, but the Asian markets have yet to open. They should provide us with a lot of opportunities. Let's dive into it.
Thank you, Dara. So last night, Asian markets closed mixed amid, of course, escalating Middle East tensions, as well as surging global bond yields. We can see the Nikkei 225 in Japan down by 2.5%. Japan's 10-year yield hit a 30-year high, near 2.95% amid fiscal concerns, as well as the Bank of Japan rate hike expectations. Most of the tech and consumer stocks led the declines, including Hyosea Holdings down by 7.6%, Advantes down by more than 5%, Taiyo Yuden down by 11.5%, and Murata down by more than 9.5%. Over in South Korea, the Kospi was also down by 1.5%. Foreign investors were net buyers, while retail and institutional selling signaled a little bit of profit taking in the region. We saw Samsung falling just under 2%, with additional losses in LG Energy Solutions by around 5%, and Hyundai Motors and Kia were both down more than 3.5%. Over in Taiwan, we had some pre-index futures settlement de-risking. Foreign funds cut TSMC by about 0.83%. Delta Electronics also slid down by 3.5%, while MediaTek down by 4%, and some memory stocks in Taiwan also got hit, with Etron limit down. Now, as the Asian markets open up for tomorrow, keep an eye out for your TAIEX futures settlements, as well as TSMC. You know, TSMC right now is holding its 10-day moving average post-index futures settlement. So any institutional buying could drive the TAIEX up, or it could retest that of the 46,000 resistance. In the South Korean Kospi, right now 6,800 is the support. Watch for any stabilization or foreign funds coming in, defending that 6,800 support. And of course, after yesterday's sharp intraday reversal, we're going to see some much needed volume in South Korean Kospi. And finally, the Strait of Hormuz, as well as the crude catalyst. Monitor your energy dashboards overnight, especially before the open. Any escalation in the Strait of Hormuz, as well as rising oil prices, could spark some selling in airlines, chemicals, and tire stocks in the region. That's all for myself.
Yeah, volume was just mentioned here, and we also just got some volume here on taboola.com. TBLA in focus after Axios reports that NBC is going to be outsourcing all programmatic display sales to Taboola. So nice little bounce there for TBLA. If you're looking for more from one, you can check us out at 11:30 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. for the European and Asian market closes, respectively. Back to you.
Thank you there, One, for your PFSA update, everybody.
Yeah.
It opened up and is now doing a bit of a rinse. This could be the first time that it halts up and while on the breakout. And if it fails, if it closed underneath that halt price, maybe you get something like what happened earlier in the day when it made that top. But I just double checked. Yeah, there will be no paying for shorts. It's a $1.33 for every share. So it's like $133 for 100 shares on PFSA. That's just to get the locates here at Real Trading. And usually, sometimes the small cappers, it'll be like 1 cent or half a cent or 5 cents or 10 cents. $1.32, that means when you take the trade, you need to make $1.32 to get break even. That's not even the way I look at it. I look at it like if you're shorting it and you're like, if you shorted at 40, let's say you shorted here because it closed underneath this halt price, like you shorted at 24.5 and your stop is at 26, that's $1.50 worth of risk. Well, because you paid $1.30, now it's $2.80 worth of risk, in my opinion, because you'd have to pay for the locates, which completely changes your risk to reward, not touching.
I seen this candle open up, and I was thinking about getting involved. So what happens is it opens up a bearish candle, sells off to 22.50. Then as soon as it flipped green, I was like, this is going to rip. And sure enough, it went from $25 all the way to a high of 28, 22, 24. So $3 just like that. But now we're halted down. I mean, it's not funny for those who are involved, but the top is now 21.35.
And like the irony is going to be, like, if I had paid for shorts, it would have been worth it. But you got to stick to it. That's too expensive.
Well, that's mad expensive. And someone was asking, I meant to ask you how much it was.
$10, $20 for 100 shares is fine. 130 for 10 for 100 shares.
But to Luis, who is a massive data collector, he has an individual who's under his umbrella stating that thank you. Was that
Brian?
What
freaking Shannon. Okay. He's smarter than all of us.
He is.
He looks 20 years younger than all of us, despite the fact he's knowledgeable. He's a great mentor. He's a great human being. He's a friend of the show. And he's out here donating $138 to the cause. Appreciate you, man, Brian. And to everybody out there. It's not just Brian, but I mean, this is amazing.
Everyone, man.
Thank you for doing this, Fabian.
We're not even really doing it. I got a bad shoulder, Fabian. I can't extend it. But to finish my point, Luis had. We'll get to that moment. Let me finish my thought.
Yeah, we'll finish the story.
Luis stated that he has an individual under his umbrella who has the data collecting that when the shorts are more expensive, he has a higher profit factor in his trading compared to shorts that are in around the mean.
I can see that, and you know what? I'm probably being way too simplistic about it, because I suppose if you look at it deeper, if it comes all the way to $17 or to VWAP, you're laughing. But Goldcrest Financial, thank you for the super chat. Look, I'll read it. If every watcher would donate just $1, we would be well over the donation goal. Come on.
Yeah.
Now here's what I will say, when it comes to giving. All you ever do is say, hey, we got a great cause here. It's all going to that good cause. And to each, if you're able to give, go for it. That is true. But, it's not about every single person having to give. But if you can, trust. This is somewhere where it's going to a good cause. So we don't mind saying it over and over again. And, if we get to the 28th and we're not near the goal, trust me, it's going to get that bump. We're going to get there one way or the other. But we do appreciate you guys. So much. There's just so many kind and generous people out there. The tap is 22.32.
Yeah. Okay. That's still down $1.
10 minutes to imbalances. SpaceX doesn't seem to want to get to the 144 yet, but it's still making a bit of a bounce. I was looking for this range. I'm trying to be patient about it. It looks like it might curl here instead of at 44 though.
That's flowing
10 minutes to imbalance. Maybe time for like one more.
Oh, it's Steve. No way.
No.
Wow. We'll pull
Okay,
up
we got
first.
Ed Barron as well. You're awesome, Ed. Thank you for the super chat. Steve Tileman with a super chat as well. Let's go, Brian. The whole fam, all the fams coming out
Get
now.
Steve on the.
Steve, what up, brother?
Man. Pull up on the show.
Well, I mean, we have Steve will be on. Steve's on every single week.
Yeah, he is on the week. But I like talking.
In the back
of
the week in the afternoon. But
straight,
this is what I mean about the community
shooter.
we've got going on.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. Let's go, Brian. Steve, put it in the chat, brother. What were you trading today? We had a couple of these small cap trades on our radar, NVDA as well too. Actually, why I pulled up the 8-ball, Steve, and maybe I'll get the Nick Vandy shout out, Joe. $2 Canadian, my guy Nicky, up there in the good old new market. But I was asking the Magic 8-ball, will NVDA hit all-time highs by its earnings report? But it doesn't matter what the 8-ball says when you have Steve Tileman in the chat. So I would love to hear his opinion. We can still ask him, but it doesn't hold as much weight as my boy over there. Thanks very much, Steve. Let's go, Brian. Let's go, everyone. You guys are awesome. Thank you all for what you do. Ed Baracchini. Then we got my boy Nick Vendy over there in Newey. Shout out to Joe. No, shout out to you, my brother. Hope everything's good over there.
Right?
I got you guys.
A 200 super chat.
Dude, this should be going to the.
So look, overweight Spider, we appreciate the super chat.
Holy cow!
But this is nothing against the super chats. We love the community. We appreciate you sending them, but we know it is what it is. YouTube's gonna take 30% of that.
Man,
if you go to the link in the site or on the stream, or you just simply, I think it's also pinned to the chat. You can go directly to the fund. That way it's going right to the cause. 100%, not 70%. Right? Because we can throw that back, right? We can do it, but 30% is going to be, 30% the cut's getting taken. That's just how they work. So thank you guys so much for that, and we appreciate you. I got excited.
Mr. Duckett,
I just missed my entry.
Know that? What do you think? Why do you think?
Doesn't matter.
YouTube is an absolute giant segment. Obviously not due to super chat.
They got to take their cut.
They get their cuts and everything, like the premium membership. They got their hands in every basket. Says Mr. Duckett is absolutely. My son donated his hair for cancer victims years ago. It's a great cause, Susumi. Oh man, that's a beautiful stuff. I love it when humans do beautiful things. Ozan, the MF Tesla will go, but just scared of imbalances. Listen, man, you were pre-rich before trading Take-Two. Now you might be things might change. That narrative might change. We have PFSA open once again here, ladies and gentlemen. So watch out for this one. It is now printing $22.61. Be cautious just in case. This might be the end of the move. Bro, got GTA stars. Oh, yeah, man. I never played that. I never owned that game, to be honest with you. GTA 5, I should say. I own the Bird's Eye View one and Vice City. GTA 2.
I don't own any of them.
No.
Well, it looks like SpaceX, we missed our entry at that 43 because we're getting excited about the super chats. But I will not be chasing this move unless maybe underneath VWAP. Okay, well, let's go to Adair at the desk. I think I might try to grab this underneath the volume weighted average price. One last trade before the imbalances. Adair, what do you have?
Copart lower and CCC higher here. CCC Intelligent Solutions. Seeing reports that CCC, the software firm, could be actually acquired here potentially by Copart. So Copart down on reports that it could be acquiring CCC, and of course CCC to the upside. We're going to send it off to Sia though for crypto.
On in the crypto markets here, you have BTC USD that is up 0.24%. Ethereum up very significantly less, but it is still almost flat on the day. And Solana up over 1.5% now. So you have BTC that's trading around the $64,600 region. Ethereum's trading around $1,900 region, and Solana's trading around 77. Now, all these crypto names have had a huge uptick earlier in the day, and that is what I do want to focus on and talk about. What happened that caused this uptick? Well, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, as of today, has proposed a new regulatory framework for crypto assets. The SEC's proposal would now exempt certain crypto companies and offerings from U.S. securities rules, which should make it easier for crypto companies to issue tokens and raise money. So the SEC's plan, quote unquote, seeks to provide crypto asset entrepreneurs and market participants with clear pathways to raise capital under the federal securities laws. Chairman of the SEC, that is Paul Atkins, has said in a statement that this will allow a one-time exemption to issue up to $5 million in crypto tokens during a 4-year period. This will also allow offerings up to $75 million during each 12-month period, but issuers would at the same time will need to be aware and the fact that they will still have to provide financial statements and meet regular reporting requirements under both exemptions. However, token issuers will still need to disclose certain information to investors. But this proposal also includes a quote-unquote safe harbor that will exclude a crypto asset from being deemed an investment contract if certain conditions are met. So now we have BTC with regards to that had the big uptick during, I want to say around 10:15, 10:30 a.m., as did other crypto names such as Solana and Ethereum.
Thank you there, Sia. Yeah, you know what? Just quickly, you should zoom out that. If you zoom out that IBIT chat, it's actually not looking as bad as you think. But Adam Crichton Gold, thank you for your donation.
Oh.
We just hit 3,500 on the nose, by the way.
Stream.
So we're now 70% on the way to that target. Eric as well.
Man.
Thank you so much, Eric, for your donation. This is amazing. Richard as well. Richard, appreciate you and thank you so much for the donation. I love that we can shout out everyone on the stream that donates. And Anonymous, hey, if you're like that, sometimes it's just about the giving and you don't need the credit, but whomever you are, thank you again. It ain't about the size, it's about the thought. Is our hearts are in the right place. And Fabian just came, no word of a lie. Fabian just came up to us while Sia was talking. And you could see like the excitement and the appreciation in his face. It's like, wow, like do you know why this is happening more today? We're like, I don't know. Maybe it's because the small cappers are running and people are happy and they're feeling generous about it. Like to be real, if I'm being real for a second, the NASDAQ's down 1.7%. Like this is not exactly the kind of market day or environment. And then you look at what's going on with the memory names that I would think everyone's in a generous mood, but I don't even care. The fact that everyone is willing to give and is being so generous with it, as I said, we literally hit 70%. We just crossed 50%, and next thing you know, we're at 70.
We're gonna get that tomorrow.
But it looks like by the end of the week, we'll maybe hit that goal and have to move it on up there. Thank you so much. And
this has been unreal. Yeah,
can't really say enough about our community.
It's been pretty crazy, man.
You guys are awesome, and it's going to a fantastic cause. And yeah, this market, it stinks. I missed my chance on SpaceX, and it's too close to the imbalances. You saw me almost FOMO into this one short, but that's not how you shouldn't trade that way. The short was this consolidation and that break. We missed it, so we're not going to try it again. I'll wait till the imbalances come out. But of course, because obviously PFSA is halted again to the upside, the tap is now 30. There's a decent chance. Oh yeah, 347. So this will open at 4 o'clock now. It should not open again until 4 o'clock based on the timing. Almost 500%. 500%.
500.
Maybe that's why people are feeling generous. Man, look at Intel. On a day where the market's getting its you-know-what handed to it, CRM is still a big sell imbalance of 1.9 million. Nothing else really pops off or stands out, but in 2.5 minutes, we'll see a bunch of other names start to get in there, especially the NASDAQ names. There's no NASDAQ names on the imbalances, just the New York and the Amex. As I said, CRM, it went too early for me. If you're making a trade on the imbalances, I would have liked to take it in the 5 minutes, not that early on CRM, but it did head to the downside.
All right, we got 2 more super chats. They're flowing in today. YouTube Cash Collector. Thank you, everyone. We could not do it without you. Oh, thank you to YouTube Cash Collector.
Well, let's throw it up there.
Pull it up there.
Yeah, let's pull it up. Let everyone see it on screen.
There you go, bang. Thank you. I love the sarcasm. Speaking of sarcasm, we have the one and only, and we're talking about exponential growth from a market capitalization standpoint, on pace to over $1 billion market cap. SCDI is happy to announce that during the month of September, we will be replacing all paper towels in the dispenser we're planning to steal with electric hair trimmers. So stick in your mullet for a great cause, people. Shout out to SCDI, Cheese and a Chair, the cheese tycoon himself, who once stood on a peninsula himself and debated if he should become a cheese tycoon. And so far, it seems to be working.
And if it's not obvious, obviously it's just some fun that we have with one of our viewers. It's all in sarcasm. Although I did put my life savings into the cheese dispenser business, and we're kind of hoping that that's going to work out well for us. It seems like a foolproof plan, because if you're going to put cheese dispensers in every single stadium in North America, it's easier to do it if you steal your inventory, because then it's free. And if you steal your inventory, then again, your costs are low, the margins are high, super high.
Some big brain stuff.
Yeah,
right?
There you go, Derek. You got that sarcasm there. So, good stuff. All right.
I just don't want anyone thinking that we're serious about this cheese dispenser business.
SCDI itself, moon cheese. Yeah, listen, if some of these Chinese small cappers can get on the NASDAQ, there's zero reason why SCDI can't hop onto the NASDAQ.
Oh, goodness, can you imagine? Imbalance is in 2 seconds, so we're going to have this live for you. CRM does come out to sell. I saw 2 million and then almost immediately paired off. So it was 2 million and insta-paired. Intel, 2.5 million to the buy side. NVIDIA, 1.5 million to the buy side. UMC is going to be in there. It's not that big of a deal. Anything else on big cappers? ONDS, that's 860,000 sell side for ONDS. IRAN is a sell of 800,000. Netflix is a sell of 700,000. Apple is a sell 640. MRVL is a buy of 600,000. SMR is a buy of 600,000. Really, the standouts are going to be NVIDIA and Intel, looks like. But NVIDIA never got through the 220.50 level. You know what? I'm going to save myself the time, and I'm just going to put down 220.50 on my iPad, so I don't have to worry about doing it in the morning. You guys can see the level, and it's not that I wouldn't remember to do it, but sometimes I like to get that out of the way. You can see the supply zone at that price. Will we be trading here? Maybe we gap up, and that turns into a support. But somebody made a brick wall all day long on the stock at that price, which makes it interesting for me. The market overall, small buy, 376 million. NASDAQ, a little bit bigger at 880. The Dow, 3 million sell, who cares? Well, man, somebody cares. The Mag 7, 17 million. Only to the sell side. So it's overall a bit of a nothing burger. Intel was the other name with a decent size imbalance. It's starting to get off the bid a little bit here. Not many obvious levels on Intel outside of VWAP there. Cheese balls. Thank you for the super chat. I cut all my hair too, only cheese left.
Okay.
Fair enough. You know what? Maybe I'll give it a shave today just to join the party. No, just buzz it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh shoot, we got another big super chat. So here, Costa Katsapis, thank you for the $100 super chat. We appreciate you. If you throw a message in there, we can put it on the screen a little bit easier. Maybe there's a stock you want to show, or you just want to shout somebody out, or just give good wishes to everybody. But type a message in there next time. And we thank everybody for being so generous here. The super chats, the gifts, the donations, more importantly. And you can see right there as I'm on the chat, Shop for Charity. You click that, it goes right to the GoFundMe. So if you are feeling in a generous mood, you can give it right to the charity that way, which I think is fantastic. So it looks like it's really just going to be about the imbalances. I saw Apple. Apple's still looking very strong. Where was your out on Apple? 11?
Me today, yeah. Let's pull that bad boy up.
11s?
No, I can't remember. Yeah, 11s. Yeah. 311.
That's still the top.
Yeah, we caught the top.
It's still the high.
Look, we caught the top on Apple.
Oh, over 11.
Yeah. 311.21. And we got the low. We got the low, and then we were fortunate to catch the top. So yeah, shout out to Gorb, that man. 311.43. Oh, you got me beat on that one. So yeah, really nice play. It might break that level right now, Gorb, as the tape looked pretty strong there. But yeah, really nice trade on Apple. But this SPCA or whatever it is was definitely PFSA.
Oh, PFS.
Yeah, PFS. I don't know.
SPC.
Yeah, I don't know what that. I don't know what that is.
SPCA is like the animal.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Get your dog spayed and neutered, right?
Yeah, PFSA over here. Definitely been our best trader of the day. Just on a couple of small scalps, so not too bad. Of a look, 26.81. Hey man, you seen where I was getting at with that one. Anyway, so.
Although you know,
SPCA,
every time I hear about the get your dog spayed and neutered, now I think of Bob Barker, which. That kind of sucks. I like the Price is Right.
Bob Barker?
You know what's up with all the stuff that's come out since he passed. It's like, really? Really?
What's up? Oh, it's Drew Carey on there.
Yeah, but dude was apparently just a rabid racist.
Was he?
Bob Barker.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, really? And then you see the clips, you're like, oh, okay, well maybe what? But we love the show. I've said it before, like Sean and I, on our trading floor, this is back in the day, at lunchtime when the market was slow, like the TV went off of whatever financial channel it was, and we put on The Price is Right. We'd watch Dragons Den at lunchtime, and because the traders aren't active in the middle of the day and they're eating our food, so it's like let's just throw something fun on. And sometimes we'd make bets on the different prices because everyone's a degenerate on the trading floor. So you'd start be like you'd see the item and we'd all be like, well, what do we think the item is? And we'd start betting on it instead of trading.
Hit the bang on that.
Traders are degenerate.
Yeah.
A lot of times. I'm just being real about it. But that 311 level, just to get back to the market for a second, the reason I was asking where you got out, like we were talking about NVIDIA in that 220.5 zone, there's a supply zone, even on a strong stock like Apple's, there's a supply zone at 311. If we have the ability to gap over that, there we go. If we have the ability to gap over that, it still has room to the local high at 315. So to the extent that maybe we see continued weakness tomorrow, remember that's meant good things for Apple. And I was waiting for this stupid chart to zoom out. And now when I'm finished the thought, it decides to fully zoom out. No, so there's a little bit more room till you get to this gap high at 316. And then from there, it's just a wider. Obviously, you've got the massive earnings drop there, the $20, but that's a big one to watch tomorrow because it took one step and it was a good one, but there's a bigger step potentially tomorrow if we get some continuation on Apple.
With Apple, yeah, especially if we see this rotation out of chips. I mean, pretty tough day across the board for a lot of these names. Yeah. Now, I mean, NVDA down 2.4%. Google actually turned positive at 0.1%. Apple down Apple up 1.5%. SpaceX down 2 1/5. Guys, Microsoft holding on to positivity up 0.33%. Meta down 4.3%, 4 1/3 here, ladies and gentlemen. Same thing with Broadcom. Broadcom getting hit pretty heavy, 4.4% to the downside. Majority of it coming from this gap down here on AMD. But oh man, SanDisk. Sometimes the best performer, but most of the time it's the worst performer. SanDisk down 9.1%, STX down 8%, DRAM down 8.5%, SK Hynix down 9%, Texas Instruments down 4%, Applied Materials down 4% as well too. So most definitely a tougher look. But hey, Bitcoin up 0.5% there, Neil. So hey.
You think that's not making anybody feel better?
Obviously. I think that was the intentions of it there. Yeah, it's definitely not making me feel any better. Ethereum up 50%.
That's all.
Salesforce putting in another positive day, man. You brought this one up not too long ago, up 34% off of the lows. Mark Benioff and company, not too bad of a look.
If you're selling off AI, then one of the places that it makes sense is all the money that came out of the IGV and all of the names that were going to get disrupted, then that's the place of value where you're going to see some bounces, but they're not all created alike. Understand the difference between things like Salesforce and ServiceNow and like the Trade Desk, which just continues to get pummeled day after day, it seems like. So there are stronger ones than others. You got to be able to pick the spots. So we have 2 minutes to go here. I mean, the market didn't really do much except continue its slow bleed. But PFSA, we'll keep it here. And then as we're signing off, we'll be able to at least see where this one opens up for those that are in Profusa. Sorry, I keep saying Profusa like it's some kind of a drug company. But it's so much better to say what is it?
Profusa.
PFSA.
Yeah.
No, but it's like Professor USA.
Oh, who's that?
It's the prof. I don't know. I'm just making it up.
Oh, okay.
I don't care. But this one's been absolutely wild. Is it the reason everyone's feeling so generous today? I don't know. as I said, I don't usually expect a down day in the market to yield everyone donating to the charity and all the super chats. Usually it's on an up day that everyone's feeling that kind of giving. But in a trading market, there's always opportunity out there. The shorts did print today in many places, and hopefully everyone had a good day today.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wish I could tell. Like the market's down today, but my best stock was a long stock. It was Tesla. It didn't end up that strong, Tesla. Let's be real. Unless something crazy happened in the last couple of minutes, I don't think. Well, kind of. It still ended up in the red, but Tesla. It doesn't even look that great for a long. But if we zoom out, the only reason I liked it, see that wipeout bottom. If there's places that people bought before and you see like setups at those prices, it can be good. So that was like that little gap fill, couple long, but no continuation. I don't know how excited I am for Tesla tomorrow if it's not above this 340. Like if it's still hanging around lower, I'm not going to like it. But if it's breaking above 340, we'll like the long again in Tesla and try and find some winners there. But the short has been the way to go. No questions asked in the market unless you're in this bad boy, PFSA, which in 1 minute, we'll see what happens in the aftermarket. All bets are off for how far it wants to move.
Let's see if it opens up here. I mean, it doesn't.
It should open at 4.
Should it? I mean, yeah.
That's
I guess
the rule,
what time did it halt at? 47.
So any halt that extends into the final 10 minutes, automatically the reopen. If it's a volatility halt, I should preface that. If it's a volatility halt and it carries into the final 10 minutes, then the open is at 4, and that's just the rule.
Yeah,
so
let's see
we'll see this one open up in about 15 seconds.
About 10 seconds here until it opens up. Great show, legendary chat. Others think, yeah, man, absolutely legendary from everyone here, regardless of how your day went. Yannick said he was green and then went red, but hey, man, that's the nature of the beast. You'll get that one back. Casey, Nimit, Katie, Dempster. Yeah, we're opened up here, Neil, once again. It looks like we're going to sell off pretty aggressively, 27 down to 24. Keep your eyes on the tape, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see which way this one gets a rockin' and a rollin'. Have a great session, everyone. Lots of fun with you guys today, and thank you all for the super chats, the donations. Brian Shannon in the house as well today, too. So a lot of positive things for this beautiful Tuesday in the city of Toronto. Brian Tassoni.
There we go. And then more. Arzu as well. Thank you for the donation. They just keep coming on in there. And remember, just because the stream ends, you can still find that link, and it'll always be in the description of the current day video and every single day. And thank you, everybody, for being so generous. But let's be real for a second. Shout out to Joe. Put in work. When Joe fills in for Sean or myself, he's there all day. He's doing the midday, he's doing the morning.
We rocking and rolling.
He's doing the options segment in the morning. He's doing the upgrades and the downgrades.
I tried.
So big shout out to Joe today. Big shout out to our entire team. You saw one up there with Adara, and of course to Sia. Adara's memory is always on point with the news. Shout out to our production crew. Obviously, they do a fantastic job. Make us look and sound good.
Always
That's Tiffany,
NYC,
Andre,
man. Look at all the love
Fabian
in
as
the
well,
chat.
and of course to Ramin, who I saw. We're all very excited for Ramin. I get a smile thinking about Ramin. And by the way, before we get you out of here, we just hit a new fresh high in PFSA and then reversed it a little bit. But this stock is flying around in the aftermarket.
Yeah.
There's going to be something like this tomorrow. There's going to be plenty of opportunities to trade. Hopefully the market goes up and those can be longs instead of shorts. But hey, everyone rest up.
Yes, sir.
It's only Tuesday. We still got more week to go, more fun trading, and we'll see you at 8 a.m. to do it all over again. Thank you, everybody.
Love you all.